people are disappointed with you because you couldn't fulfill their expectations. Right? So what is the effect does that their disappointment has upon you? It makes you feel guilty. So first of all, they expect stuff from you, and then you expect yourself to fulfill their expectations. And the funny thing is that the expectations on neither side are being fulfilled. Hmm? So they are making a mistake, and you are guilty that you couldn't live up to their mistake. Are you? Want to remain guilty? Hmm? It's alright to expect. It's alright to expect from yourself or from others. But the only right expectation is that you or the other or anybody would move towards peace, silence, truth. If that is the expectation, and if that is what you could not live up to, then surely you are entitled to feel disappointed and guilty. But if the expectation is anything else, then why are you promoting it? Why are you subscribing to it? I repeat, this is the only expectation you must have from yourself or from others. That they will move more and more towards peace. That you will move more and more towards peace. And if this expectation is belied, then you are justified in feeling betrayed. Why do you want to burden yourself with miscellaneous expectations? You are not obliged to live up to anybody's standards. You are not obliged to live up to even your own standards. If there is one obligation, it is to adhere to the standards of the Absolute. Your personal standards do not matter. And all standards that you know of are personal. The persons behind them might vary. The systems behind them might vary. Some of them might be purely personal, the others might now be socially acceptable. Some might appear coming from one single person, the others might appear like coming from a widespread network. Doesn't matter where the expectation or the obligation is coming from. How are you bound to conform to it? When did you internalize this external order and why? Just ask yourself, one question: am I alright? Am I peaceful? Or is my mind laden with thoughts, desires, miscellaneous stuff all the while? Expect yourself to live in your innocent, naked, real nature. And don't measure yourself against any other criteria, benchmark, standard, nothing. We know only two types of people. One who live by others' expectations. We find it easy to call them social slaves. And then there is the other kind that live by their own personal benchmarks, who set their own standards. We idolize them. We call them individuals. This second type is in deeper slavery than the first type. To live by the thoughts and opinions of others is bad enough. To live by your own thoughts and your own opinions is worse. If the mind is peaceful, if the sight is clear, if you can sit peacefully, if you can listen attentively, you are all right. Expect no more. Yes, speak.
Can you elaborate on why it's bad to live by your own benchmark?
Hmm?
Can you elaborate on why it is worse to live by your own benchmark?
The question is, why is it bad to, or worse, to live by one's own benchmarks? Because there is nothing called one's own benchmarks. What you call as your own benchmarks is not something that you always had. They are not your own. You absorb them, you internalize them, not alert enough that you are assimilating them. If you have borrowed something and it's in your hands, at least you know that what is in your hands is borrowed stuff. But if what you have borrowed gets assimilated, then it is worse, because now you do not even know that you are living, eating, breathing, thinking borrowed stuff. Now the possibility of originality recedes even further. Now you are indebted and you do not even know that you are indebted. And that's why it's worse than merely being indebted.
So then where does originality come from?
Comes from nowhere. All that is borrowed comes from here and there. Originality just is. If you can see that most of your mind stuff is borrowed, that mind stuff can be nothing but borrowed, then this seeing is original.
So what if it's just what you feel is right in your heart?
Hmm?
So if a child was to feel something right in its heart,
The heart feels nothing. The heart wants nothing. It's only the mind that feels, wants, desires, expects. Mistakenly, you have been trained to conflate the mind with the heart. The heart is self sufficient. No desire arises from it, irrespective of what our popular language, metaphors, and idioms tell us. The songs are all false. They keep singing of the desirous heart. The heart desires nothing ever. It's self contented. You create an artificial distinction between the mind and the heart. When the
by
desire
heart I think
is,
I mean instinct.
huh?
By heart I think I mean to say instinct.
You mean to say the instinct,
Yeah, instinct.
the instincts. It's all mental, mental instincts. Why do you think that instincts, thoughts, desires, tendencies, they are all fundamentally different? They are slightly different forms of the same fundamental I tendency. Truth has no instincts. And what you just heard was an animal instinct. You heard the monkey doing something there? That's an instinct. It has got nothing to do with truth. It's got something to do with your biological composition. It's ingrained in this organism, the DNA. What's there at the surface of the mind becomes visible to you as thought. What's there deep in the recesses of the mind comes to you as intuition or instinct. But they are all mind stuff. What do you have at the surface of this stream? Water. What do you have a little below? Water. What do you have right at the bottom? Water. But if you are talking of a well or an ocean, then the water at the surface is accessible. So you know something about it. And the water deep down is not accessible. The light of consciousness does not fall upon it. So you don't know anything about it. Just because you don't know anything about something, it does not become divine. Yes, the truth is unknowable. That does not mean that everything that is unknown is truth. You do not know yourself. You do not know your instincts and intuitions. That does not mean that they arise from the truth. Your own ignorance cannot be the criteria of truth. You cannot say that if you do not know something, Obviously, it is coming from the truth. Not so. You know, to talk of instinct as beyond mind or metaphysical is to support yourself to stay in the confines of the mind, albeit in a more moralistic way. To remain diseased, one of the sure shot ways is to not call the disease a disease at all. If you do not call intuition or instinct as mental, then you will retain them. They will appear like messages of God, right? If you just ordinarily think of something, you say it is my thought. But when something arises from an unknown point, as instinct or intuition, then you say that this is arising from my heart, and the heart is in touch with divinity. Now you have ensured that you are going to be fully committed to the instinct. Now you have ensured that you are going to be fully committed to something that is just mental by declaring it to be beyond the mental. Now you have sanctified something that has very little sanctity. There are three forms that are beyond normal thought: instinct, intuition, dreams. Never attribute anything transcendental to either of these three. Dreams do not tell you anything beyond yourself, neither do instincts or intuitions. That which is beyond you will not appear in your dreams. I know it is a humbling thing. I know we don't want to hear it because we like to believe and behave as if the divine is coming to us in hidden ways. Oh, he came to me in my dreams. I dreamt of Christ. I dreamt of Krishna. If you're dreaming of Christ, then he is your personal Christ, not the Christ. If you are dreaming of Krishna, then you are dreaming of your image of Krishna, not Krishna really.